Yeah. Nevertheless, I digress. That's Yada Bear. This be RM Des. Huh? Make it today. Make it no way. You got the Down and In Sports crew on a Saturday. So it must be the weekend. So let the weeks blend. Yada Bear left handed in your face again. Peace. Left handed right hand at RM Des on Twitter, which is this right now. My partner Cody is in the house, as you already see, most definitely. Keep a smile on the face despite the situation that I've won. Yada Bear's in the house. What's up, Browski? She got to take a sip of water before she go in. Let's get hot up
it's
in
been
here.
listen, it's been a tough week here in Philadelphia. It's crazy. It's that time of the year where the stars said, F out of here. The stars not line up for us.
The star said, nah,
But
son. But
yeah,
I
the
mean,
stars said no.
all on the same. I mean, again, you know how the Phillies went out. You can get into that. You know what I mean? The Eagles, nobody saw that coming. You know what I mean? Maybe some people that kind of like might have had an inkling because of what was going on inside with the Eagles situation, but not like that though. You know what I mean? I'm going to get into it. Yep, we're going to have that discussion because I have brought it up and somebody, I ain't going to say no names,
Yeah.
cussed me out. I ain't going to say no names, but cussed me out. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I talk about my Yankees, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get into
We
some
down
other some
bad.
college football stuff. WNBA salute to the Las Vegas Aces. They came back and put some more respect on their name. And we gonna get into that and some other stuff. And Browski's in the house. So
Yeah.
I know you got some things to say. I'm gonna fall back, let you get into doing your things. It's a Saturday. Get live with it. Do what you want. You know what I mean? And down in Sports Talk, we in the building. We're about to get live. So no, it's not made for kids. We're gonna put that out there
Now,
early. Let's go.
it's crazy. Like, it got me all choked up because we had high expectations for this season, talking about the Phillies, um, and to end in disappointment. It's not even the fact that losing, because there's always a possibility when you playing against the defending champions. Um, but to lose in that fashion is wow. And I'm not even talking about the last play because things happen. But we shouldn't even been in that situation. Excuse me. And like, everybody want to talk about these NL East championships. That means nothing. That, especially to the fans, because we don't get no trophy for that. We get no parade to being NL East champions. That's
Get a
not
bum ass
something
t-shirt and
that's,
the hat.
yeah, exactly. We get a T-shirt and a hat. That's all we get. We get merchandise. That's it. That's it. And
Woo!
it was like extremely disappointing. Like, I have to start with management, the GM, Dave Dombrowski. You put together this roster, the same roster that we had the same results with for the past 2 years. You know, um, the fans and a lot of us Philly, faithful. We've been calling for a number of things like, it's time to move on from Alec Bone. Maybe it's time to move on from Bryson Stott. Like, how long are we supposed to wait for these guys to get better? Make a bigger splash in free agency. Bring in another name, bring in some legit talent, and we just haven't gotten that these past 2 years. And then the second group that I put on my list, because it's a group of them, is our top money guys. The Trey Turners, the Kyle Schwarbers, and the Bryce Harper. And Bryce Harper is top on that list because he is the face of the franchise. We brought this guy in 7 years ago, and we haven't gotten anything back on our investment. Excuse me. Oh, hold on one second.
Yeah. the season has its up and down. You know what I'm saying? Um, exactly. But as a Phillies fan, I wanted you to speak to that. You know what I mean? But again, not to get away from it. I mean, cause I'm on the outside looking in when it comes to the Phillies. I mean, again, you know, it's the first thing I would say is that it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? You're gonna have your moments where, you know, you win 16 out of 20, and you might have your moments where you lose 9 out of 13 or whatever. But it's a long season. But I say the accumulation of numbers or the lack thereof might lead to, thinking about, doing some things and rearranging and moving some things around. Now, in the Phillies' particular situation for this season, knowing that Kyle Schwarber had impending free agency, that, might have led to a little bit of the urgency to kind of get it done. You know what I mean? You went out and you picked up a couple of guys. You picked up a Harrison Bader, who provided, some defense, a little offense, a little pop. You acquired the kid Juan Duran from the Minnesota Twins at the back end of your bullpen. So again, it wasn't really a situation of worrying about who you were missing or who you didn't have because of whatever reason. It was just a fact about moving on. And the fact of the matter that the New York Mets, they're going to do their annual New York Mets thing, and the Atlanta Braves, they're kind of like a year behind schedule, and we wasn't really worried about the Marlins or the Nationals. But go ahead, Kimmy. I just wanted to pick up on that and observe from the outside. Go ahead.
Yeah, and what's crazy, what I was saying about Bryce Harper, 7 years, nothing. We got nothing out of him. We got 1 World Series appearance, 2 NL East championships, and 3 early exits. That contract is a terrible contract now. It's a bad contract. By the time we were able to move on from him, might be like another 3 years, and he's going to be like 35. It started, I'll say this, it really started when we let Reese Hawkins go. We let Harper take his job. So we let a guy walk out the building who been with the clubhouse when we was terrible. He was the only guy producing. He gets hurt, and then we let him go, and then we let Bryce basically take his job. Instead of putting Bryce ass back in right field where he belong, and let's have us a legit first baseman who gives you 30 plus home runs, 70 to like 100 RBIs, and we let all that walk out the door because a guy that we brought in 7 years ago now decides that, oh, I want to play first base too, which was crazy. Then we bring in another guy and Trey Turner and get this, I gotta say, this soft ass guy, $300 million because, he had, great years, and he was good in Washington. Everywhere he was at, he was good. He comes here, he can't hit. He don't like the fans. The fans are booing him. Yeah, because we pay you $300 million and you giving us crap. So now the fans are standing up and give you standing ovations just for you to come out in a regular season game up to bat, and now, your feelings are not hurt anymore, and now you feel better, and you feel at home, but you still stand there with this blank expression on your face, super nonchalant. You're like you don't even care that we're losing. There's like really no passion coming from you, so it's like you don't care. All you care about is the check. It's like you don't even care that in this series you going 0 for 3 in the first 2 games of the series at home in front of the home crowd that stood there and gave you a standing ovation for nothing. And you standing up there swinging at pitches 3 feet off the plate, pitches rolling in the damn dirt, popping up, hitting in double plays, or just not hitting at all.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And then I got to point at Kyle Schwarber. Who cares you hit 56 home runs in the regular season? Where was that when we needed you? What was that? You talking about you want to stay here in Philly, but I can't justify bringing you back with the same results. You again, you those 56 home runs gave us nothing. It didn't even matter in the playoffs. You forgot how to swing in the playoffs, and that's the same story each year. It's never the pitching. You got quality start from Christopher Sanchez, Jose Luzardo, and even Aaron Nola on the road in LA. And you guys couldn't do any of that. You couldn't do anything with that at all. And then you turn around with game four, again with Christopher Sanchez on the mound, throwing a fantastic game. And we could only produce one run. You gave everybody this hope in game three. Oh, 8 runs. Kyle hit 2 home runs. Bryce finally realized how to hit the ball. Oh, Trey Turner's come alive. Just to turn around the next day and gave us your ass to kiss. The
Didn't
next day. Okay? Everybody sitting around with this false hope. I already knew what it was after game two. When we could not get we couldn't win one game at home. In game one, you put 3 runs on Otani, and then Otani figure out, oh, I can't throw fastballs at these guys. I gotta throw off speed stuff. And what was crazy, nobody can hit the off speed stuff. Even the guy that's supposed to specialize in hitting off speed pitches, which is Bryce Harper, he couldn't see the ball a mile away.
Yeah.
So again, it's another year of disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. So at the bottom line, we just need to blow up the team because this team is giving you nothing at all, and I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of the same old Phillies. It's the same old song and dance year after year after year. And it's time to move on and figure it out. It's time. I mean, you got these guys that's down in the farm system, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford. You telling me that these guys are good down in AAA. So why are you holding them back and bringing them up? Because obviously the talent that we have here is now it's not helping. It's not working. Maybe we need a change. Maybe how about I don't know? Let's get younger. I'm looking around the league. I see all this young talent all over the place. But when I look at my team, I don't see none of that young talent. I see a bunch of
funny
old.
duddies.
I see a bunch of old white guys in
Let's go,
pinstripes.
Bowski. Let's go, Bowski.
Okay, old white guys in pinstripes playing this game and playing it terribly. But yet we want to throw all this money at them. But it's like, why can't I get an Elliot De La Cruz? Why can't I get a veteran like I don't know Nola Arenado who could play third base and back? Why can't I get a Rafael Devers? Why can't I get anybody like that? But no, you want to give me Harrison Bader. Even though I would say this, he showed a lot of heart. I like Harrison Bader. I would actually bring him back next year. But again, where is the diversity in my team? And I think that is where we're disadvantaged at. I feel like that's the disadvantage. I feel like whatever we do in this off season, whatever free agent we bring in, I just have a feeling that we're gonna be looking at another white guy in pinstripes. That had who was good in their heyday. I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Pete Alonso here. I wouldn't be surprised at that. Another white guy. Just Just keep adding on. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. And it's just I don't know what to say about the Phillies. A lot has to change, and it's just wow. Then after you know we get that thrown at us, here come the Eagles. Thursday night football, division rivalries. Oh, it's the New York Giants. In my mind, oh, it shouldn't be that difficult. This should be a pretty good game to try to get things back on track. We playing against a rookie quarterback. They just got thrown into the system. They number one receiver is gone. They got a running back. Cam Scatterboo. Rookie. They may got Tyrone Tracy hurt too. Offensive line is okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. So I'm like, oh, this should be, a pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but, a pretty average dub. We should go in there and, you know, had them been to our will. Well, that was crazy thinking because the Eagles had other things in mind. They went in there and they played like they was the New York Giants. Like they just had a rookie quarterback back there. Like they had a rookie running back back there. Like their number one receiver was hurt and out for the season. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. And people want to say, oh well, Jalen Carter didn't play. We shouldn't have to rely on Jalen Carter. We should have the next guy up. We should be able to look at Jordan Davis on the defensive line to set the tone there. We had zero pass rush. Quenya goes down. And then all hell breaks loose because then we got two bums that can't cover a bed on the outside. You like that, right? and we turn around, we got New York Giant reject Adoree Jackson and this bum Keely Ringo that I don't understand how he's still on the team on the outside looking like barbecue chicken, getting burnt up and down the field. Up and down the field. It was ridiculous. They got everything. And then I'm looking at Jackson Dart, on the previous show I said this guy is fast, that guy's fast. And yeah, he's fast. He's out there, he's running past everybody. And then on the offensive side, oh my God, what's happening? I'll tell you what's happening. It looked like our plays are extremely predictable. I know what we're going to do. Just like the other team know what we're about to do when we are lined up in a certain formation. It's so predictable that it's crazy. It's so predictable that it looks very, very, very juvenile. It's ridiculous. Then we got Jalen Hurts missing throws, throwing interceptions. For some strange reason, we can't run the ball anymore, or they just, oh, well, we got to get the ball to A.J. Brown, so we're not going to run the ball as much. Like, what are we talking about? My offensive line beat up. Brett Toff out there getting destroyed. Look like he shouldn't even be on the field. It's bad, Thank goodness that there was a Thursday night game so that we had some time to try to make some adjustments out there. I feel like, to me, this Kevin Patillo experiment is a failed experiment. I feel like Nick Sirianni definitely needs to step in and take over the play calling, even though he's not even a good play caller himself, but he's not as bad as this guy. It's like something have to give. And I know that, they're not gonna fire this guy in the middle of the season, even though they should. And never consider hiring within again at the offensive coordinator position. And I'm just just a little fed up, just a little fed up. But at the end of the day, we're 4-2. The goal is not to be undefeated, but the goal is not to look like trash and not to lose to bad teams. This was a bad loss. Losing to Denver, you know, I could swallow that. Denver is a pretty good team, good defense, but losing to the Giants like that and getting blown out was wild. But that's all I got to say. Go ahead, Left. Talk about your
I mean, it's
New
gonna be
York
hard. It's gonna
struggles.
be hard to follow that. But as far as the baseball thing is concerned, everything you said, you can kind of like replace Phillies with Yankees, replace Bryce Harper with Aaron Judge, replace Rob Thompson with Aaron Boone, right? Replace the lineup for lineup, bench for bench, bonehead play for bonehead play. 9 home runs when you only need 2, right? For 9 home runs when you only need 2. People be like, you're going too hard. No, I don't. I go hard enough. Because it's been 16 years now. And for 16 years, we've been waiting for this New York Yankee team to show up and fulfill a prophecy. I mean, we spoiled here in New York. We spoiled. We feel like if we don't have a parade in the October, beginning in November, what are we here for? So now, and this is what I was afraid of, Kimmy. I've been saying this for years. Walk with me. The Yankees, when I first started being a Yankee fan, 1976, I was 10 years old, right? I didn't know nothing about Yankees and winning and none of that. I just was a Yankee fan. I liked the Yankees because I think with my auntie, my grandmother, my pops, everybody, they liked the Mets. And I had no idea why they liked the Mets. I didn't really care. They just liked the Mets, and I wasn't rocking with that. First year I liked the Yankees, 1976. Yankees went to the World Series. I followed the whole season, Kim. The whole season. What? Yankees went to the World Series? Can't tell me nothing. But before the World Series, when Chris Chandler hit the home run in Game 5 and won the pennant and all of that. That's what really got me on as a Yankee fan. Then the Yankees went to the World Series, got swept by Cincinnati, broke my heart. I was crying out the whole 9. The next year, went back to the World Series and beat the Dodgers. The next year, went back to the World Series and beat the Dodgers. So in 76 we lost, 77 we won, 78 we won. 78 was the season, Browski, when the Yankees was 14 games back in July. And came back and we had the 1-game playoff and Bucky didn't hit the home run and all that boom. Now, 78, remember that, that's crucial. I went through middle school, high school, graduation, all of that. Military, from 1978 to 1996, because that was when the Yankees won their next championship. A total of 18 years. 1996 we won, Charlie Hayes. 1997 we lost because Mariano gave up a home run to Sandy Alomar against Cleveland Indians and we lost, 97. 98 we won, World Series. 99 we won, World Series. 2000 we won the World Series. 2001 we was in the World Series, but we lost to Arizona in 7 games. Right? Didn't go back. We went back in 2003. Don't have me lying. We went back in 2003 against the Florida Marlins when they had Josh Beckett, A.J. Burnett, Sheffield, all that. And we lost. And they celebrated at Yankee Stadium on the field. That was 2003. 2004, We was up 3-1 on the Red Sox, and the Red Sox came back. And notice I'm not doing no Google. Notice that. Or you other so-called sports heads, I'm going to get at y'all later. Lost to the Marlins in 2003. Let the Red Sox celebrate in 2004. 2009, I really didn't want to mention that because Browski gets a little tight when you mention 2009. 2009, we came back and won the World Series. But I'm saying all that to make a point. That was the last time we was in the World Series. Until last year, and I don't even count that because you're going to get me mad all over again. So here we go. You talk all, not you, Browski. You talk all this junk, and when I say you, I mean the front office, the announcers, the weirdo fans who never seen nothing or done nothing or been nowhere, right? Every single year, you go out there and you spend money. Not vociferously like George Steinbrenner, but kind of like just to stay in the game. That's what Hal Steinbrenner and them do. Because, they got to deal with the luxury tax and they got to deal with a whole bunch of other stuff. Boom. Still paying players from 4 or 5 years ago and all that. So all of that is on the books. I get it. But here's the thing. With all those people that you signed between 2009, when we had CeCe Sabathia and Mark Teixeira and Hideki Matsui and all that, right? To 2026 now, because 2025 is dead. To 2026. From 2009. That's 16 years and counting that the Yankees have not been in the World Series, won the World Series, sniffed the World Series. We've had the same voice. We had to listen to Brian Cashman. I get it. When Brian Cashman was winning 3 World Series in a row and it was all sweet and this and that and the third, we were signing CeCe and Mark Teixeira. We were signing all these guys. It was all love. It's kind of like the voices got played out a little bit. You could ride off. Brian Cashman could ride off into the sunset, knowing that he's got 5 championship rings, 5. Not a lot of general managers in the game can say that, alive or dead. Right? So, with what goes on in Yankee Stadium, as a Yankees fan, supporter, whatever you want to call me, man. It's a level of expectation. And I know different Yankee fans see it different. They call themselves diehard Yankee fans and, the sun will soon come out tomorrow. This is not Annie, my G. It's not. Right? So when you mess up, you deserve to get spoken on. Because when you do something, you talk about it all day ad nauseum. You can't shut up. Right? So here's my situation on the 2025 Yankees. Everything started off lovely. Even though Garrett Cole was out for the year, Clark Schmidt was out for the year, boom, 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 boom. Everything started out lovely. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do the third. When was that, Kimmy? April and May, right?
Always in the early part, April, May, June.
June and July comes around. Okay, we're doing whatever the case may be. We not playing the type of ball that we used to seeing. And the Blue Jays are making noise. The Tampa Bay Rays been making noise all season. That's the team that everybody was scared of. The Tampa Bay Rays. The Orioles was an afterthought. I mean, they did that to themselves, but we're not here for that. The Yankees just went about their business doing that, and it comes down to the dramatic September. Oh, the Yankees need to do this, the Yankees do that, the Yankees do the third. The Yankees and the Blue Jays ended up like the Packers and the Cowboys. Right? Tied. But the Blue Jays won the tiebreaker by having spanked the Yankees all season long. We put ourselves in that spot. Playoffs come. Dramatics. Oh, what are we going to do in the first round? We get out of that. Now we got to play a team. Remember a team, Yankees fans, when we had Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams and and Mariano Rivera, Andy Pett, those guys, that was a team. This Blue Jay team will beat you not with Vladimir Guerrero every night, not with Santander, right? Not with George Springer. Those are the veterans of the squad. Who the hell is Ernie Clement? right? This dude had a career in one series.
He did.
He had a career in one series, right? But I'm not going to blame him. What I'm going to blame is the pitching. Aaron Boone, you took the homie out way too soon. We had it going on, and you let that thing go. And from there, it just kind of like escaped. The air was out the balloon. The way we were losing up in Toronto, it led you to think that this series wasn't going to go 3 games. Let me tell you something. As a New Yorker, as someone who knows, as someone who's like really invested in his team, like you're invested in your teams, they know the pressure was on. They was coming back to New York, down 0-2. The way they played, it wasn't them 2 games were no contest. What was it, 10-1, 13-7 or something? The only thing that was putting hope into it is the way we came back at the end of game 2. You finally scored some runs, right? But here's the thing. The fool's goal. You know what the fool's goal was, Browski? Cam Schlittler. Cam Schlittler let the Red Sox have it. He was back up against the wall. Had no choice.
Oh, they was ready to get that kid to Cy Young already.
Let's go, right? So then we're down 0-2 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Oh, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. We're going back home. We got Schlittler pitching. No! We won those 2 games on the mystique of Yankee Stadium. The Aaron Judge home run off the foul pole tells you everything you need to know. Right? Get to game 5. We got our guy going. Everything is lovely till it wasn't. So defense, again, bites us in the ass. Right, Jazz Chisholm? One of the guys who were like, oh, we're going to win this thing. We're going to win the division. Didn't do that.
He was
We're
very
going to win
good.
the World Series. Didn't do that. But he did show a lot of enthusiasm. Seemed like he's genuinely happy to be here. Things of that nature. But once you get accepted here, you have to show that grit, man. You can't just be talking about it. Every time you swing and you want to flip the bat because you think you hit a home run and the ball ends up going back to the pitcher. Right? Understood that you was playing out of position. Aaron Boone. Jazz Chisholm should have been playing third base.
Correct.
But that's just me. You went and got Ryan McMahon. Had more Yankee moments than another Yankee that y'all got that y'all talk about all the time. Right? But at the end of the day, man, we just got beat by a better team. They were ready. They weren't going to, be denied. They had everybody up and down that 27-man roster that contributed. Everybody. You know what I mean? From the pitchers, even when they had the bullpen game in Game 3, it was like, okay, we got this. No, we don't. Those games were competitive down to the wire. And like I said, the Yankee moment, the mystique of Yankee Stadium, when Aaron Judge hit the home run off the foul pole. Off a pitch now that everybody's talking about, oh, well, it was this much of a... No, I don't care about that. Who cares? If it would have went foul, then what? So to me, in my opinion, Aaron Judge still owes us. He had singles all over the place. And a home run that hit off the foul pole. So you gonna tell me that's gonna justify Aaron Judge still being the man and him? No. No. Aaron Judge still owes us. And for me, I wouldn't be nonplussed if he wasn't here. But we stuck with that. I'm tired of these dudes talking about March, April, May, June, July, August, September. This is what we're going to do. And as soon as the clock turned to 12:00, October the 1st, you turn back into Clark Kent. Rest in peace. Not the DJ Clark Kent, but the other dude. Right? So for me, coming back, people say, oh, 26. No, we said that in 21. Oh, 22 is going to be better. We thought 23 is going to be better. 24 is going to be better. 25, Now 2026, oh, we're going to have Gary Cole back. We got Schlittler in the mix. He's going to be in the rotation. We're going to have Clark Schmidt back. Zing. Remember that album, NWA album, Ziggles for Life? Zing it. I mean, like, 2024 was in the World Series. 2025, we didn't even make it to the ALCS. So that's hustling backwards.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Backwards.
So, like I said, you're hearing two same stories from, not that far down the road from each other. You know what I mean? It's the same scenarios. Two, I don't want to say to downplay anybody else. Two bigger, larger markets.
Yeah.
Right? Philadelphia, New York, where championships are expected. Championships are sometimes delivered.
Mm-hmm.
But in years when you have championship material and championship squads, and you don't even get to even try to say, well, we made it to the NLCS, or we made it to the ALCS, where at least you could say you was the top two teams in your league. No.
Yeah.
And it was like a amalgamation of all the stuff from April to May, all the way through the season that led you up here. Because we both had moments. Rossi was like, oh, my team, we're not going to. And man, listen, I ain't talking about that. I ain't worried about that. You know what I mean? Until then, now you're in the playoffs, and now you got some energy. You know what I mean? You got the battery in your back. You know what I'm saying? And this is what you get. And I think we're passionate as the next people. Even maybe a little bit more so because we're invested and we know what we're talking about. Because, that's gonna be my get down on it. Oh my God. But anyway, yeah, it's Saturday. We in the building down at InSports. You got Yada Bear over there. She's in the building.
Yeah.
You got me over here, left-handed. I'm in the building. At RM Desk on Twitter, which is this right now, right? Then you got Yada Bear over there in the building. She's, mad at Rob Thompson. I ain't mad at her because I'm mad at Aaron Boone. Rob Thompson, does he stay or does he go?
I think he stays one more season. Me personally, I think it's time for a change, but I don't think they're going to let him go. I think if I give him one more season.
Give me 5 guys, because we do this every year where it's like, you have a who do you think should stay or who do you think should go. Give me 5 guys who you think should stay and maybe a couple who you think should go.
Well, the people I know that's going to stay because
Who you think should stay?
of the contract, Trey Turner is going to be here. Bryce going to be here. JT. I think Harrison Bader should stay. I think Brandon Marsh should stay.
That's 5.
Yeah. Guys who can go.
Okay.
Kyle, because it doesn't make sense, for us to pay him the amount of money that he's going to demand for us to have the same results. Castellanos, he should go. Very inconsistent. Not a really good right fielder. Alec Baum should go. Bryson Stock should go. And unfortunately, a guy who should go that we're not going to be able to let go because of the contract also is Aaron Nola. He should go. It's time. But it's, we'll see what will happen. I don't think a lot is going to happen because for some reason in this city we have blind loyalty. Like these GMs and owners have blind loyalty to certain players. And that's why they are still on this roster. But we'll see what happens next season, if we have a season, because, CBA talk, players is the negotiations not going good at all. So there's a strong possibility that we might not even have baseball next season. And that's why this year hurts even more because what if the players, what are they locked out? What do they say? No, you're not playing, and we miss a whole season. And this is the taste that's left in my mouth for 2 years or whatever how long the negotiations take. I got this terrible taste in my mouth from what the Phillies had done. So it is what it is.
Um, who should stay? Who should go? First, I'm gonna be with who should go. Paul Goldschmidt should go. He's retired anyway. Salute. Trent Grisham is gonna probably end up going. Um, Anthony Volpe should go. I hate to say it, but Austin Wells can go. And definitely Luke Weaver. And Mark Leiter Jr. That's 5 that should go. 5 that should stay. Jazz Chisholm. Ben Rice. Caballero. Devin Williams. All right, I'm willing to work with that. Devin Williams, right? I got one more, right? Let's just stay. Dominguez. I was going to say Ryan McMahon because I want Alex Bregman on the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
But I like what Ryan McMahon on defensively. He did some stuff that, like he was brought over for his defense, and he showed why he was brought over. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't mention Brian Cashman. I didn't mention Aaron Boone because what's probably going to happen is either one of them is going to leave and the other one's going to get fired, or one of them's going to get fired and the other one's going to get fired right behind them, or both of them will stay. I really don't really want Aaron Boone. The guy that we're talking about as Yankee fans in New York, whatever, Don Mattingly.
I knew you were going to say
I think Star might not like to shout out to Star, man. Get better quicker, my guy, for real. Don Mattingly. I think if Don Mattingly was the Yankee manager, it would automatically, that would be like kind of like Mark Jackson coming to coach the Knicks. Right? Or Lawrence Taylor coming to coach the New York Giants. They would really jump out the window. That would really be crazy. But,
That's crazy.
Right. It would bring another energy back, right? Because Don Mattingly, even though he never got a championship and things of that nature, he knows. I would like Don Mattingly as a Yankee manager. Willie Randolph as his bench coach. You know what I mean? Bring back some of these guys. But those guys aren't going to be on the field. You're still going to have Aaron Judge and Jazz Chisholm and whoever else you can get to play shortstop, because I'm not feeling Anthony Volpe. Because his last 11 at-bats in the playoffs was nothing. He was doing his best Aaron Judge, John Carlos Stanton imitation. And I didn't say John Carlos Stanton should stay or go because I know he's leaving. Right? And that's basically it. My last statement on the 2025 New York Yankees is, again, you're giving me 78 to 96 vibes. It's been 16 years. All you have to do is give us one. And another thing, I'm tired of watching these other teams on our field celebrate their championships. It's already bad enough watching the Cats come into Madison Square Garden and bust the Knicks' ass. No matter how my man Sadat X, no matter who you are, coming to Madison Square Garden and make their name. The Boston Red Sox celebrate championship on Yankee Stadium. Florida Marlins celebrate a World Series. The Dodgers celebrate a World Series. You know what I mean? Now we got to watch the Toronto Blue Jays and Vladimir Guerrero with his Yankees lose.
Yeah,
Yankees lose. All right.
yeah,
But again, they're entitled. I'm not mad at that
yeah.
because we did something to them if we would have won. But
Of course.
this is what happens when you lose. You know what I'm saying? And those guys, Vladimir Guerrero's of the world,
Mm-hmm.
the Griffey Juniors of the world, they take it personal. See, Broski, this is how I'm gonna put you on the game right quick. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
those guys take it personal because at the end of the day, they don't like the Yankees for real, for real. So when they beat the Yankees, it's personal for them. And they're gonna go in and do what they do and have their fun with it as they should. I'm not mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because I remember Griffey said he would never play for the Yankees. Never.
Yeah. He
You
definitely
know what I
said
mean? How
that.
they did his pops or whatever. And Vladdy Guerrero is just a thing where he just don't mess with the Yankees.
Don't mess with him at all.
No mess with them at all. So I get that. But yeah, Kimmy, that's just how I feel about the Yankees right at this point right now. My Buccaneers, on the other hand, again, I'm glad to see where we are. You know what I mean? Um, Now I'm looking at our loss to the Eagles in a whole different light. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this
But
guy.
again, that's neither here nor there. Um, I think that people want to put some respect on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But remember, Browski, when we start getting talked about in a light where it's like, yeah, the Buccaneers get mentioned because they don't really mention Tampa Bay like that. But when we
Mm-hmm.
start mentioned consistently and on a regular, that's why I think we start hearing it and we start thinking that, yeah, we are. Because again, we talked about it recently when the Bucks was undefeated. When we had Ryan, what's his face? Ryan
McCaffrey.
Fitzpatrick.
Oh, Ryan
Fitzmagic.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, we had
Oh
Fitzmagic,
yeah,
and
you definitely had Magic.
yeah. See, so again, I'm not there yet. We're only almost a third of the season in. Get us to around the holidays, and then we'll talk about what we feel about this season. For me, um,
Yeah.
no Mike Evans really to speak of. No really Chris Godwin to speak of. Mika Ibuke is rookie of the year already. I'm liking my defense. The veterans coming up big. Levante David with the big interception late in the game against Seattle. Two of the best uniforms in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Again, now when the Eagles bust out those wild
With
fluorescent green
Kelly,
joints, those is hot. I ain't mad at it.
with Kelly
You know what I mean?
Green,
But
Kelly
yeah,
Green
the
fire.
green joints is flavor. But again, um, we were doing our thing. But again, I want to get Giddy and jump out the window because this has been a strange NFL season already.
It has been. Mm-hmm.
The teams that we're used to seeing not do so well are doing kind of alright, and the
Yeah.
teams that we're used to dominating are like, oh snap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Browski, talked about her Eagles and stuff like that. I feel like they set us up for the okie doke. They talk all about the Giants haven't won the last 10 Thursday night games and so yeah, I'm gonna bet on the Eagles and then the Giants coming in going crazy. You know what I mean? So again, it's how you observe it and how you see it to kind of like figure out how you want to talk about it or describe the game or what you think or who's going to win the game or whatever. I'm gonna let Browski do what she does because she's WNBA heavy. Salute to the Las Vegas Aces, who once again came back off the canvas, and people might have doubted them or left or jumped off the bandwagon or whatever the case may be. They came back, and now they are your 2025 WNBA champions. Speak to that a little bit, Browski. And you don't stop.
Give me one
Yeah.
second.
All right. Yeah, the WNBA, the Vegas Aces was going through some things, and they had, a lot of other stuff that was going on internally, and again, once you get on the canvas and people, you see who your real supporters are and people that are really there for you and want to rock out, you know what I mean? That's either going to light a fire up under you or it's going to make you kind of like retreat even further. So I think the Las Vegas Aces, for whatever situation that they went through, it's what champions have to go through
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
in this day and age. It's what champions have to go through. They got to go through something. So I'm gonna let you pick it up. You good, Browski?
Yeah, this
All
allergies
right,
going crazy. But
no doubt.
yeah, definitely. Congratulations to the Aces. You know, they had a year. You know, they kind of fell off a little bit. They had a lot of ups and downs this season. A lot of changes to the team. A lot of people thought that the Aces was done. You know, they thought they was done. Beginning of the season, they was really like in the middle of the pack. It kind of fell down some. It could have been, different team chemistry. You had players leave, players get traded, new players came in, and at the end of the day, they did what they were supposed to do. Asia Wilson went on a tear this season. You know, 4-time WNBA MVP. She was Finals MVP, first team. A lot of people was disrespecting her this season. Everybody's putting a lot. They was talking about everybody else. Putting her, second, third, and no disrespect to anybody else. Like Nafisa Collier had a fantastic season. Um, Again, they was always putting the Caitlin Clarks up there. A lot of focus on Paige Beckers. Rookie of the year. Had a great, rookie season too. But at the end of the day, the person who is the true face of the franchise emerge and show you why she is who she is. And Asia Wilson, like I said, went on a tear, especially after the All-Star break. Like I said, they was middle of the pack. They went on a 11-game winning streak. Was just killing everybody, and quietly, and people, like I said, the focus was a little bit off of them, but quietly, Asia Wilson was just having one of the most dominant seasons that she had in a while in the
Quietly,
WNBA.
right, Browski? Quietly, yo. You
Mo-
right. You right.
Multiple 35-point games, multiple 30 and 20-point games, a couple of triple double games, and not even speaking of her defense. You know, I'm holding down the middle of the paint, making everything difficult for everybody else around her, uplifting her team, and just being that driving force. Um, Going against a Phoenix team, again, not scrubs, came together. Um, Kalia Copper, Dewana Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, like they got dogs on that team, and they dominated them from the opening tip off to the final. And this season has been wildly controversial within the
Yep. Go ahead, Browski.
WNBA.
Yep.
From the top to the bottom, players versus the refs, coaches versus the refs, players versus the general manager, players versus the commissioner. It's just been like a wild, controversial season. A lot of talk about the CBA, you know, additions to the season. I mean, addition to the season, and in addition to also the lead. We had a new team, Golden State Valkyrie, who had a fantastic
Made the playoffs.
inaugural season, made the playoffs. A team without a major star, a team of role players, that played
Right.
together
Yep.
and accomplished something that haven't been accomplished since they started expanding the WNBA. When
Mm-hmm.
we get a new team in the WNBA, Jimmy, that team is trash. And Jimmy takes
Trash.
at least 3 years for them to
To get it
even
right.
start to
Right.
make,
Let's go, Bowski. Mm-hmm.
make noise in the league. The newest team that started to make noise was the Atlanta Dream. They finally started to make a little noise. And now we have, the Golden State Valkyrie first season in, made the playoffs. You know, first season. Crazy. And then we look at what was going on in Indiana. You know, the Caitlin Clark, situation. There's always a situation when we talk about this girl. Anytime we mention Caitlin Clark, this type of situation. Well, this season, the situation was injuries. She was injured majority of the season. The Indiana Fever was without their star player majority of the season. But yet, the Indiana Fever made the playoffs and won the playoff series without their star player. Their quote unquote star player, where they already had a star in Kelsey Mitchell there and Aaliyah Boston also,
Mm-hmm.
who made second team All WNBA. I believe Kelsey Mitchell made first team All WNBA. So um, they accomplished something that people didn't think they could accomplish without Caitlin Clark and without majority of their starting lineup. They had a whole squad injured by the end of the season. Um, and they made the playoffs. They had a great season. So I need people to really start putting respect on Kelsey Mitchell's name and start putting some respect on Leah Boston's name. And then we had some, you know, downfalls of like the Chicago Sky. People had high hopes. I had high hopes that they would finally get it together with Angel Reese and Camila Cardosa. They fired Teresa Witherspoon last year, brought in a new coach, whole new thing, same result. So now the question is, who do you keep? Because obviously, having Angel and Camilla on the team isn't working. It's no chemistry there. It's not working. Somebody has to go. I feel like they gotta make a decision. I kind of think the decision probably was already made for them by some of Angel Reese's actions and some of her words. So as we have seen this organization go, when someone is voiceless and speaking out, um, Kennedy Carter, for example, no longer on the team. Kennedy Carter no longer in the league. You know,
Right.
which is wow. A person as talented as she is can't find a spot on the team. And then we look at other teams like the Washington Mystics, still trying to find their way. A franchise that's probably going to be down in the dumps for a minute since, Elena Delle Donne retired. And they haven't really brought any kind of star power in to replace that. Now, they had a
Maybe
pretty,
they'll, maybe they'll get maybe they'll get Angel Reese. Bring her home.
maybe. Or, maybe they still trying to build within the draft.
Yeah.
We got some talented players coming out the draft this season. They're going to have a pretty high draft pick. So, I mean, we'll see what will happen there. But definitely a big salute to um, the Vegas Aces. This was a very hard fought championship.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Gavin.
They didn't
Absolutely,
dominate
Gavin.
the whole season. This was like they had to fight tooth and nail for this one, and it should feel very sweet to them to go through all of that and still come out on top. The off season is going to be very interesting because, again, as we speak about it in baseball, contract stuff, CBA and the WNBA it is very very messy. That and on top of the players not really having as much confidence in the commissioner who's leading, the league.
I was waiting
So
for you to bring that up. Yep.
these negotiations is going to be interesting, and it could be very possible that we don't have a WNBA season next year also, because I can't see them coming up with any type of agreement with this commissioner. Um, this commissioner is she's not. I don't see it as a really good leader. I don't like how the league is going with under her regime, especially with not holding these refs accountable. We have seen many coaches get ejected, players get ejected because of the calls of these referees. In the finals, there was some questionable calls in that Mercury game, that last Mercury game, that you can look at like, well, maybe they should have called that. Maybe that was a foul. And we seen people get injured in results of no calls, as in the Nafisa Collins
Mm,
getting injured, getting knocked out. Her injury took them out the playoffs, took Miss right out the playoffs. It was done. As
it
soon
was
as she
over
went
with.
down, the Lakes was done. Then you eject the coach. Fine, it's just a lot of nonsense. A lot of stuff that need to get cleaned up within the league, and you'll figure, as many years the league has been around, that certain things would have been cleaned up by now, but it's just getting a little worse, and we just have to see what's going to happen in this off season. So I feel like we should all just really sit back, enjoy the unrivaled league that's going to be starting up in
Right.
January.
Browski, let's
Two.
go.
I can't wait because they are coming to Philly,
Okay.
to play a couple of
Right.
games, which
Right.
I love. I love that they're doing like a
Okay.
little unrivaled tour.
Hmm.
So we get to see, our professional players, because we don't have a team. We gotta wait until 2030 till we get a team here in Philly.
Right.
So we gotta live, through that. And also, I feel like we should really appreciate this upcoming women's NCAA season, because we don't know what's going to happen with the WNBA. So we may have to just feed off women's college basketball for a minute and the unrivaled to get a little women's college basketball fix. Go ahead, Les.
And don't get gassed. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah, women's college basketball is going to be really, really exciting this year
Yeah.
without Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins
Yes.
out for the year.
Out
So,
for a year.
you know what I mean?
But you know what?
We,
It's all right.
we got like
Okay.
13 minutes left. We just wanted to pop up on a Saturday. Myself and Yada Browski, she the one that brought up like, yo, so let's just do a show. Know what I mean? I'm mad. I got some things I want to, get some steam off my hair follicles and all that. So come on, Browski. You know what I mean? High ceilings is in the building. You know what I mean? So we here, man. Now's the Browski's favorite part of the show, where she gets to expound vociferously on a particular topic. Do what you do, Browski. We got like 12 minutes left, because I'm going to do what I do when it's my turn. It's on you.
Well, I'm going to get down. I got to finish getting down on the Phillies. You know, it's the Philadelphia Phillies, never disappointing end of the season. Um, what else can we say? We can say a lot. We talked about Rod Thompson and how some of his decisions were absolutely terrible in this Dodger series. That also, was some of the reasons why we lost the game. The decision not to pitch run for Castellanos, the decision to keep um, Christopher Sanchez in the game in game one. He should have never came out in the fifth inning. The decision of keeping Matt Strong in the game that long, and in relief. And also, I have to put blame on Jose Alvarado, because it's his fault that we had to trade for another closer. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy having Duran here, but it's his fault. We could have looked to get another player, another bat in that we most definitely needed. But for him also to get suspended and then to come back and then to get hurt was ridiculous. So now we had to bring in an old Dave Robinson to to be in the bullpen. It's just things like that that really pisses me off about this Phillies team. And I'm just hoping that Dave Dombrowski sit back and think about his next decision making when trying to get this 26 roster together. And I also have to, pivot to the Eagles. You know, a disappointing game against the Giants. Offense looked sad. Defense looked bad. The corners look like trash. I gotta look at Howie and look at him and question, well, where's the trades? Where's the move to bring in a corner that we desperately need? I'm looking at other teams, swapping out corners.
Yep.
See Newsom getting traded. It was like, wow, you can get a guy like that, for nothing. I'm sitting here, I'm looking across at the Cleveland Browns. I said, well, they got a guy in Denzel Ward that's wasting his talent on a trash team that could come here and possibly make an impact. I'm looking at this offensive line and I see that my guys are hurt, and I'm looking at Harvey thinking, well, damn, man, there's not a guy on another team that we could bring in that's better than Brett Toff, that's trash truck juice on the offensive line. There's nobody there. There's nobody out there that's better than this garbage that we have out on the field. No, maybe it's just me, but I'm just getting down on these guys. Put a better product on the field. I don't care if we lose every game, but if we look good or we look okay, then maybe the team was better than us that day. But to go out there and look like hot garbage, look like we don't know what we're doing, not looking like the Super Bowl champions that we are, is just very disappointing, and it's a disservice to the fans. And right now in Philly, we're just a little pissed off. So we're just going to sit back and just wait till week 7 to see what happens. We're going to treat this season as a week by week season. We live in paycheck to paycheck.
Okay, I dig it. I dig it. I can
But
respect
that's
that.
that's what I'm getting down on. What you getting down on?
First of all due respect to everybody who rocks out with us. You know what I mean? We don't have 3.8 million followers and nothing like that, but the people that rock with us genuinely. All right. Shout out to the homie Jack Fungo. Right. Salute. You know what I mean? I never heard of him either, but he just came through. You know what I mean? And salute. Right. And that makes me feel good, man. Because again, we do this because for the love. You know what I mean? The vibe is cool or whatever, but we stand on what we stand on and we say what we say. Some people get it, some people don't. All right, that's over with. This is what I'm getting down on, and this might be a little segue. Here's my title to what I'm getting down on, Browski. Everybody is not a sports analyst. Everybody's not a sports analyst, yo.
Okay, here we go.
Like, some of these people have the funny idea that just because they can talk about sports and you have a certain particular number of followers that make you feel like what you're saying is right, or what you're saying has legs, when it really doesn't. And there's no disrespect coming in at all. None of that. I don't care if you got 50 million. That's you. Do you. You're the one that can't go nowhere without somebody following you around. You're the one that can't, do what you do in peace. Right? You're the one. Not me. I can move anonymously and do how I do, and I like it that way. Right? It gives me peace. I can do what I do. Go into spots that I'm accustomed to going into without nobody bugging me. Because I'm not really on it like that. We do what we do because we like doing it. So now they throw a microphone in your face and you can regurgitate a bunch of numbers, right? And that makes you a sports analyst all of a sudden. Should I say names? No, because there's too many to mention. But I will tell you this. If you feel some kind of way, any night, any day, anytime, anywhere, whatever you want to do. Because like I said a few years back on my Facebook, this is why I think I was doing the show with Wnba. I am the Grandmaster Kaz of this. Salute to my big homie Grandmaster Kaz of the Cold Crush Brothers, the legendary Cold Crush Brothers. I am the Grandmaster Kaz of this. And you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because I can go back. And like you said, I ain't Googling nothing. I ain't written down nothing. I ain't rehearsed nothing. You know why? Because we're passionate about this. The same conversation that we have right now in this little box right here is the same conversation that we would have on the block, on this big ball of clay. So what I'm saying to y'all is stay in your lane. And if you feel like you're being disrespected, I'm putting it out there. If you feel like I'm disrespecting you, or if you feel like I'm stepping on your toes, please feel free to holler. At RMDes on Twitter, which is this right now. At Lefty Nice on IG. The government is Facebook material. You already know the vibes. Get at me through Down to In Sports. However you want to do it. Swing the way. Because if it's one thing I can talk about, actually there's two things. Actually there's three things I can talk about. It's me, number one. It's hip-hop, number two. And it's sports, number three. From the team aspect, the historical aspect, the background aspect, the how this gets done. Yeah, it might sound corny to some of y'all. Because that's where y'all at with it. Because when you regurgitate stuff that somebody else already said, now I'm going to poke holes in your theory. Is that your theory? And see, I get down like that. I don't care. Right? Because that's why I'm getting down on it right now. You understand me? You acknowledge me. Peace, gods. You acknowledge me. So, for real, I feel like the people who don't deserve this are the ones. Look at the numbers. That's what I'll say to you. Look at the numbers. Nick Wright. Oh, I'm sorry. How many time we got? We got 2 minutes. Nick Wright, out of here. I don't know who put you on. That's just one example, right? Sometimes I get mad at the big homie Stephen A. Because I got him on tape. He looked me in my face, like I'm looking at you right now, and told me that the Brooklyn Nets was going to take over the city from the New York Knicks. We're still waiting for that. But that's another story. So if you got a microphone in your face and you talk sports and you really don't like sports, you just talk about sports because sports is a hot topic. Let's keep it green. The real ones that talk about the sports thing, we don't get no respect, but it's cool because we do this because we love it. We got to get ready to get up out of here. Down here in Sports Talk, I'm over here left-handed at RMDes on Twitter, which is this right now. My code D in the building over there. That's YANKEES. You already know. Check us out every Tuesday night. We will be in the building. We are out of here. Browski, don't go nowhere. We're out of here, yo. All right? And I hope you feel away. Peace.
Peace.